Hello, I'm Dr. Meyer with our weekly video blog. Today I'd like to talk about something that's rearing its ugly head again, physician-assisted suicide and some modern implications of that. Physician-assisted suicide began in Europe and primarily in the Netherlands. These are people with socialized medicine where the cost of health care impacts on the state and on their taxes and become a public concern. It's never a problem in free enterprise and wasn't a problem in this country. But when it involves tax dollars, then sick people consume a big valuable resource. They consume a lot of taxes. Dead patients don't cost anything. And so right now we're having an administration in Washington where the taxes are going up, and there's talk for the first time in this country about limiting coronary artery bypass, limiting renal dialysis, and various treatment programs because of lack of money, because the government's paying for it and these are tax dollars. And so there's new ones coming on all the time. And the taxes are going up every news article we read. We'd like to look back to the 1980s when President Reagan came into view and the taxes were well over 90%. And he reduced them to 35%. And it was interesting that the government all at once had a bigger cash flow than ever before. And the people of the country were living better and they had more money. And the standards of living were much better at a 35% tax rate than at the 90%. And actually the other type of administration, Kennedy, from the other party, did that also in the 1960s. He lowered taxes and the revenue increased dramatically. But that is not something that is a learnable trait in the worlds of politics. And so the Netherlands have done that for years, and one time I was at an international meeting actually in Europe, and was sitting with a number of doctors from the European countries, and I asked the question, how significant was physician-assisted suicide, and do they see any of it? And the doctor next to me says, well, yes, he had personal experience with this recently, and that left a bad taste in his mouth. He had a patient that he admitted to the hospital, and she was an elderly woman, and she says, I'd rather not go. I'm so afraid they're going to put me to death. And he says, I'll be watching over you, and I won't let anybody hurt you. Well, so happens he was off call the next weekend, and so he signed out to another doctor. When he came back on Monday, he was looking for his patient and couldn't find her. He asked the nurse. Oh, she died. So he headed up the doctor he was signed out to. Oh, she was so sick and we needed the bed, so we had to do her in. And so that's the way it goes. And the sickness becomes a drain on the public treasury. We have a similar thing in our country now with Oregon. They have instituted physician-assisted suicide, and the statistics that are coming from that indicate that maybe half of the people that were put to death did not sign a valid request for that. And so these things go out of hand and are abused. And there is really no reason for doctors ever to be involved in patient-assisted suicide. The patients are skillful enough, if they really want to die, there's enough things that they have. They can take care of the problem all by themselves. They don't have to involve our profession, which traditionally is one of the highest moral calibers of anybody, right up there with ministers and judges. And so to involve us and have us be involved in the killing process is really unfortunate, because pills frequently are given in 90-day lots, and so every patient has enough heart pills they can take that the heart will go out of tune right quick, enough antihypertensive pills that they can take and they have enough digitalis that can make the heart go wild. And so in fact a 30-day supply will do any of these things also, or sleeping pills. So there's really no reason, if somebody wants to kill themselves, that we as a profession should ever be involved or consider helping them. The other day I came across a new way of doing that. Recently had a patient who had obstructive sleep apnea. This is when you're snoring so loud and all at once you become very quiet, and his wife saw that when he was snoring real loud and all at once no snoring, she looked at him and his chest was still moving, but she couldn't feel any air movement, and he was still going up and down, and she got very concerned, and all at once he let out a big strider and he opened up and started breathing again. So he went to a lung physician, and he had a sleep study, and showed that he was obstructed, and fitted with a pressure device, so he has back pressure and he doesn't snore, and he keeps his airway open, and therefore treats that, and he's not in danger of dying. So my patient was telling me about a friend of his who also was on a CPAP machine, continuous positive airway pressure, and he got tired of it all and became very depressed, and he told my patient that he thought one of these nights he would just turn the machine off and just die. And his friend, my patient, tried to talk him out of that. But sure enough, a few weeks later he did that and passed away. And so this is a new way of personally committing suicide, and it has other serious implications, because if a patient can do that and not take pills, he's on life support or he's on a machine that keeps things going, and he can just turn it off and die, what would keep a wife, a spouse, or somebody from doing the same thing? Or family members. We're seeing so many family murders these days. So this is opening up a whole new field, from physician-assisted suicide to personal suicide to there's books been written on physician-assisted suicide. Half of that is homicide, and of course if a family got involved in this would be homicide. So we're treading some very dangerous slopes, and we're on a very slippery slope in this whole arena now. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new videos, and post any questions you have in the comments section below. I'm Dr. Meyer. Until next time, take care.